The American Nightmare, June 1st, 2020, by Ibram X. Kendi. On May 19, 1896, the New York Times allocated a single sentence on page 3 to reporting the U.S. Supreme Court's Plessy v. Ferguson decision. Constitutionalizing Jim Crow hardly made news in 1896. Another racial text, published by the nation's premier social science organization, the American Economic Association, and classified by historian Evelyn Hammonds as one of the most influential documents in social science at the turn of the 20th century, elicited more shock in 1896. The data speak for themselves, Hoffman wrote. White Americans had been naturally selected for health, life, and evolution. Black Americans had been naturally selected for disease, death, and extinction. Gradual extinction, the book concluded, is only a question of time. Let them die, Hoffman seemed to be saying. That thought has echoed through time, down to our deadly moment in time, when police officers in Minneapolis let George Floyd die.
Malcolm X said in 1964, quote, "We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare," end quote. A nightmare is essentially a horror story of danger, but it is not wholly a horror story. Black people experience joy, love, peace, safety. But as in any horror story, those unforgettable moments of toil, terror, and trauma have made danger essential to the Black experience in racist America. To be Black and conscious of anti-Black racism is to stare into the mirror of your own extinction. Ask the souls of the 10,000 Black victims of COVID-19 who might still be living if they were white. Ask the souls of those who were told the pandemic was the great equalizer. Ask the souls of those forced to choose between their low-wage jobs and their treasured life. Ask the souls of those blamed for their own death. Ask the souls.
The American nightmare has everything and nothing to do with the pandemic. Ask the souls of Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and George Floyd. Step into their souls. History ignored you. America ignored you. The state did not want you to breathe. But your loved ones did not ignore you. They did not ignore your nightmare. They share the same nightmare. Enraged, they took to the streets and non-violently rallied. Some violently rebelled, burning and snatching property that the state protected instead of your life. And then they heard over America's loudspeaker, "When the looting starts, the shooting starts."
Mayors issue curfews. Governors rattle their sabers. The National Guard arrives to protect property and police. Where was the National Guard when you faced violent police officers, violent white terrorists, and the violence of racial health disparities, the violence of COVID-19, all the racist power and policy and ideas that kept the Black experience in the American nightmare for 400 years. Too many Americans have been waiting for Black extinction since Hoffman. Let them die.
In 1896, Frederick Hoffman deployed data to substantiate racist ideas that are still building caskets for Black bodies today. Black people are supposed to be feared by all, murdered by police officers, lynched by citizens, and killed by COVID-19 and other lethal diseases. It has been proved. No there. Black life is the hopeless problem, as Hoffman wrote. Black life is danger. Black life is death.
This is a racial pandemic within the viral pandemic, older than 1896, but as new as COVID-19 and the murder of George Floyd. But why is there such a pandemic of racial disparities in Minneapolis and beyond? The two explanations available to Hoffman more than a century ago remain the two options for explaining racial disparities today, from COVID-19 to police violence: the anti-racist explanation or the racist explanation. Either there is something superior or inferior about the races, something dangerous and deathly about Black people, and Black people are the American nightmare. Or there is something wrong with society, something dangerous and deathly about racist policy, and Black people are experiencing the American nightmare.
Americans should be asking, why are so many unarmed Black people being killed by police, while armed white people are simply arrested? Why are officials addressing violent crime in poorer neighborhoods by adding more police instead of more jobs? Why are Black and Latino people during this pandemic less likely to be working from home, less likely to be insured, more likely to live in trauma care deserts, lacking access to advanced emergency care, and more likely to live in polluted neighborhoods? The answer is what the Frederick Hoffmans of today refuse to believe: racism. Hoffman advanced the American nightmare. What will we advance? Hoffman implied we should let them die. Will we fight back for Black people to live? History is calling the future from the streets of protest. What choice will we make? What world will we create? What will we be? There are only two choices: racist and anti-racist.